My wife and I always envisioned starting a family together, and she consistently expressed her desire for children. We met during her first year of college and my second, and we began dating about 2 years later. Our connection was instant. She's the most incredible person I've ever met. We share a strong bond and have had a solid relationship overall, with the usual disagreements every couple faces. But things have been strained lately. Having kids has always been a priority for me. I adore children, come from a tight-knit family, and have always dreamed of having at least 3. She was aware of this before we even started dating, and I believed she shared the same goal. Early in our relationship, we discussed it, and she found my enthusiasm for a large family endearing, saying she also wanted kids someday. Before I proposed, we revisited the topic, and she reaffirmed her wish to have children. I made it clear I wanted to start a family young, as I didn't want to be an older father. I wanted the energy to play with my kids and not be mistaken for their grandfather. She was on board with this. We got engaged, then married, and whenever people asked about kids, she responded casually, suggesting we might start soon after the wedding. I want to clarify that I didn't marry her just to have kids. She's not a means to an end. We dated for years, and my love for her is genuine. I'm emphasizing that we repeatedly confirmed our mutual desire for children, that she knew how much it meant to me, and that she claimed it was important to her too. After our wedding, we agreed to wait 2 years before trying for kids to ensure our marriage was stable and we were financially secure. So we spent those 2 years settling into married life, traveling to exciting destinations, working diligently, and preparing for the future. I was 26 when we married, and I thought 28 or 29 was a reasonable age to start a family. After the 2 years, I brought up the idea of kids. She explained that she was under intense pressure at work, vying for a promotion, and didn't want a pregnancy to interfere. I was supportive. She got the promotion, which was fantastic. But when I raised the topic again, she brushed it off. We relocated to a larger home, and she said she needed time to adjust. In hindsight, I should have sensed something was off. More time passed, but she insisted on using protection and stayed on birth control. When I turned 30, I started to panic. I had expected to have at least 1 child by then. I don't know why I never confronted her earlier. We'd always been open about wanting kids, and I couldn't fathom why she'd change her stance. Her reasons always seemed valid, but I began to suspect they were excuses. So, we had a serious conversation. I told her I was 30 and felt time was slipping away. I pointed out that we'd be great parents, our home was spacious, we both had well-paying jobs, and her parents lived nearby for support. That's when she admitted she wasn't sure she wanted kids anymore. She explained that a pregnancy, childbirth, and raising a baby would hinder the career she'd worked hard to build. I was devastated. I assured her she wouldn't need to leave her job, but she argued that maternity leave would impact her performance. I suggested hiring a nanny, given our financial stability, and mentioned her parents' proximity. But she wasn't comfortable leaving a child with a stranger or even her parents. It was a painful night. What stung most was that she'd felt this way for some time and hadn't told me, despite knowing how much kids meant to me. She should have been honest sooner so we could have addressed it with more time. After much reflection, I proposed a solution. I'd quit my job to stay home and care for our child. She wouldn't need to miss work after giving birth. I'd handle everything. A child meant more to me than my career. Her income alone could sustain us comfortably. But she said I was missing her point. I felt lost. This was someone I thought I knew inside out, yet I was clueless about her true feelings. I respected her ambitions but couldn't ignore my own dreams. I refused to grow old without experiencing fatherhood. I asked if she'd ever want kids, and she couldn't give me a clear answer. Since then, we've barely spoken. I plan to talk to her again to figure out our next steps, but I'm at a loss for words. I'd like an outside perspective, but she doesn't want anyone else involved yet. I'm completely unsure of what to do. Update. We had a long discussion. She admitted she's been rethinking many things and isn't sure she wants kids anymore. I explained that this conflicted with the plans we'd made together, and she apologized, acknowledging she knew it would upset me. I asked why she didn't tell me sooner, and she confessed she feared I'd be unhappy. If she'd been upfront, we could have worked through it together. What hurts most isn't that she changed her mind. It's that she kept it from me, knowing how significant this was to me. After weeks of conversations, we reached a conclusion. Our relationship couldn't continue. I still find her beautiful, brilliant, and captivating, which is why I suggested we limit contact to avoid rekindling feelings and repeating this cycle. Since we didn't part over betrayal or anger but a fundamental difference, it's a calm separation, what you might call a velvet divorce. We're dividing our assets as fairly as possible, selling our home, and moving separately. Everything is being handled transparently with our lawyers, yet it still aches deeply. When we finalized the divorce, I broke down, feeling I'd pushed away the most amazing person in my life over my dream of fatherhood. The next day, I realized our relationship ended not when we signed the papers, but when she hit her change of heart, eroding the trust and communication we needed. That's what truly hurts. It won't be easy, but I've taken the necessary steps. I believe I'll eventually find someone who shares my vision for a family. In 5, 6, or 10 years, I hope to have children with that person, and in 20 years, they'll mean the world to me. I'll be grateful I pursued fatherhood, which matters more than my career or material possessions. I'll miss her deeply, and may think of her from time to time. She's handled this gracefully, likely because she also sees our relationship was unsustainable. I genuinely wish her the best. She deserves it. Writing this has been therapeutic, even if it's painful. Next story. My wife bought my goth stepdaughter a peach dress for a wedding, but when I got home, she was wearing a black gothic dress, and we were short on time, so I let her go as is. My wife thinks I was wrong. I'm 48, my wife Laura is 40, and we've been together for 10 years, married for 7. We have 2 young kids, a 5-year-old son and a 4-year-old daughter, plus my stepdaughter Tara, who's 16. Tara is very much into the goth emo scene. She almost exclusively wears black. Even her sleepwear has dark, quirky designs like skulls or creepy cartoon characters. Laura is very particular about details and appearances, sometimes to the point of being controlling. Weddings are a big deal to her. She was a bit intense at our own wedding, and I used to tease that my cousin, Sarah, 38, chose her as maid of honor because she needed someone to keep everything in check. Laura didn't find it funny, so I dropped the joke. In the lead up to Sarah's wedding, Laura clashed with Tara over her outfit. Laura wanted Tara to wear something appropriate, but Tara wouldn't budge. Laura gave her an ultimatum. Choose an acceptable dress, or Laura would pick one. Tara still refused, so Laura bought a peach dress completely unlike Tara's usual style and told her it was non-negotiable. On the wedding day, Laura's maid of honor duties kept her with the bridal party from early morning. I was to meet her at the venue with Tara. I dropped our younger kids off with my eldest daughter, ran some errands Laura assigned, and got home just in time to leave. Tara was already dressed, not in the peach dress, but in a fancy black gown that fit her gothic vibe. Lace sleeves, corset-style bodice, longer in the back. I asked if Laura had approved it, and she said not to worry, adding that we were too rushed to change. I urged her to switch to the peach dress, but she argued there wasn't time, and her makeup and hair wouldn't match it anyway. Her elaborate makeup did seem tailored to the black dress, and we were cutting it close, so I let it go. At the ceremony, Laura was busy but quietly questioned me about Tara's outfit. I explained that Tara was already dressed, her makeup wouldn't suit the peach dress, and we had no time to change. Laura was too occupied to dwell on it then. Tara got some stares, but that's typical for her bold style. People generally seemed fine with her. Tara rode with me to the reception. She was avoiding Laura as much as possible. I noticed Tara's friend, Becca, 16, at the reception in a slightly toned-down dress. Apparently, Tara helped Becca sneak in, as Becca drove herself. The venue was large with many guests, so it wasn't a big deal. I was seated with my dad and some of Sarah and Laura's co-workers. My dad noticed Becca and jokingly said, "They're multiplying." Tara and Becca were taking photos, mostly Becca snapping pictures of Tara. Laura told me to deal with them, saying they were drawing too much attention. I spoke to the girls, and they agreed to be less noticeable. Becca stopped setting up her collapsible tripod, and they stayed out of the way. Laura was upset on the drive home, saying I let Tara look like a vampire and make a spectacle of herself. She said black is inappropriate for weddings, Tara's dress was too flashy, and she was humiliated. She accused me of letting Tara do whatever she wants, and allowing her and Becca to treat the reception like a personal photo shoot. In my defense, I was busy with Laura's errands, and when I got home, Tara was ready in the black dress. Changing would have taken too long, and her makeup wouldn't have matched the peach dress. She didn't attract excessive attention. People always notice her, but it wasn't disruptive. Becca's photos weren't a big deal either. They toned it down after our talk. Tara even got the photographer to take a few shots of her, but it didn't derail anything. Laura complained about a bouquet Tara posed with, but it was fake black roses Becca brought, not something we left home with. Sarah, the bride, didn't seem bothered. I've told Laura repeatedly that some things only become issues if you make them issues. With teenage girls, picking fights often leads to drama. I have 2 grown daughters, 28 and 22, who are close to me, partly because I avoid unnecessary conflicts. Laura thinks I'm too lenient with Tara, but I'm firm about her grades and chores. She used to leave makeup and hair products everywhere, but after I calmly explained she needed to clean up, she did. Laura's confrontations often escalate, while I keep things simple. If I need Tara to babysit, I ask straightforwardly, maybe offer a small incentive, and it works. Laura felt embarrassed in front of her co-workers, but they found Tara charming. My mom even chatted with Tara about makeup. No one was scandalized by Becca's presence. We even joked about the goth takeover. I've told Laura this doesn't need to be a big deal, but she's still upset. And some of her friends, not Sarah or her co-workers, say I'm wrong. Am I wrong for letting Tara wear the black dress? Update, May 14th, 2025. I discussed this with Laura, echoing points others raised. I reiterated that fighting over trivial things creates tension with Tara. I also noted that Tara's nearly an adult, and pushing her too hard could distance her permanently. At a Mother's Day gathering with our parents, my mom praised Tara's outfit and effort, saying it was better than having a grumpy teen in an uncomfortable dress. Laura's mom was more critical but kept it minimal. We don't see Laura's parents often, maybe a few times a year. I pointed out to Laura that Tara spends more time with my mom than her own grandmother. I had Tara apologize to Sarah, just in case, and checked in with her. Sarah hadn't noticed Becca wasn't invited. It was a large wedding, and she wasn't concerned. I don't mind indulging Tara a bit. I'm the only father she's known since her biological dad passed away before I met Laura. I treat her like my own daughters. Laura was stressed from taking on much of the wedding planning due to the planner's son's hospitalization. He's fine now. She admitted I likely made the right call. I explained that every girl wants to feel confident, and forcing Tara into the peach dress with her goth makeup would have looked odd and made her miserable. Laura and Tara have since smoothed things over, and we enjoyed a pleasant brunch together. All's well that ends well.